Previously on They See Me Rollin'.
I somehow don't think these spider worshippers are actually history yet.
And you see a man approximately 10 feet in height, a long black robe flowing around his body.
Slender Man, isn't it?
Certainly wouldn't want to be in your way. I have a wife who misses me.
The purpose is to make a new castle and city for the king's daughter.
Courtney is just pale white. I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Do tell.
You see her tavern, barely, because it is covered in spiders. Left off where you guys showed up at Courtney's place, and it was full of spiders and webs, and she looks pretty terrified and a little dejected because that's her home.
Are they really big spiders? Or are they little spiders?
Regular olds. They're just regular sized spiders, but there are a lot of them.
So it's basically Australia then.
I don't even think they're as big as Australian spiders.
Actually, our spiders are very small, but they're very poisonous.
But you got some big ones, though, right? You got some scary, nasty ones that hide behind clocks.
Yeah, but they're not... They're like, I can pick those up. They're not scary.
You can pick up most spiders. There are very few spiders that are so big you can't pick them up.
I'm not saying... I'm saying that the little ones are the ones you got to be afraid of around here.
Yeah, that's what I learned from, I think Indiana Jones taught me that. I don't remember.
I learned that you can totally be afraid of all spiders, whether or not they are poisonous. Back
to the game. We're standing in front of this house covered in spiders.
Delicious.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Skumk. you missed your breakfast, Skumk.
It's just like Grandma used to make.
It's like this is like a drive-through for you.
I've just taken out a bottle of insecticide and I'm just spraying my entire body and I'm glistening right now.
Remember when our idea for the original, slogan for the podcast was a D&D podcast just like Grandma used to make?
It still is.
Yeah,
that's
slogan. What's on the Twitter page.
Oh, well, we haven't said it in 50 episodes.
We've had 50 episodes?
There were the bonus episodes that were just Skumk.
Just for us.
All right.
So how about this podcast that we're supposed to be doing, guys?
How about that? I want to do a perception check on the house. Just because we're playing D&D and that's what you do. You do perception checks a lot.
Okay. I will let you do the perception check, but I'm going to say it's an investigation check. So
sure. It was a 3.
It looks like you rolled a 3 anyway. You notice that there is a lot of webs and a lot of spiders on her house.
I want to do a religion check.
All right, go ahead.
That's a good idea.
I mean, her house is built on the top of a
built
spider
on a big
temple.
Scary spider temple, yeah.
Was a 10 get me, Stan?
10 gets you that you recognize that the spiders are representative of the religion of Lolth, the Spider Queen.
Loaf, the Spider Queen?
Lolth. Lolth.
Lol.
Lolth.
Lol.
Lol. Much spiders.
Such
wow.
Not to be confused with Raffulf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Or I did it for the Lolth.
That's what the cultists of Lolth say. I did it for the Lolth.
Yep.
Anyway, I walk over to Courtney and Courtney, couldn't help but notice while we were, digging through the catacombs, doing some dungeon diving, trying to get to your place.
Spelunking.
That there's a huge ass spider temple right under your floorboards. Did you happen to know about that? Did the realtor mention that whenever you were scoping this place out?
She looks at you and she says, I knew. This tavern's been with my family for centuries.
and this was never a problem before. You never thought that, maybe I shouldn't, investigate the spider temple right under my, right under my floor?
Jelly, I think she was investigating it.
Wait, what?
I think she's been messing with the spiders.
Can I go grab a spider and take a taste test?
Absolutely.
Wait, what are you building this off? What are you making this assumption off of, Jody?
Last week she said that she made a terrible mistake and she thought that she was helping, and she's made a deal with somebody.
She turns to Coen and Jelly and says, "Look, I'll come clean. All right, this isn't my family's tavern. When I was a child, I was orphaned because my family was killed in a war between two nobles. My family's from Westgate, and they served for the Goodwin family. The rival family called the Hightrotters
They sound good.
Sent their troops and murdered everyone inside, including my parents and my older brother. Then I was recruited by the Blazing Dusk, but they were really, really slow, and they didn't like how I handled things, so they kind of stopped working with me."
Yeah. Could you give us a bit more specifics on how you were handling things, please?
They don't really like a lot of assassinations. I thought they were kind of necessary.
Oh, if they're in good vengeance, then I approve of them.
Oh, well,
Like a lot of assassinations or a lot of assassinations?
A lot of assassination. I mean, they were tangential to revenge.
It's funny you mentioned that. Can I ask you some advice on a personal matter? Whenever you killed these people, did you get this strange thrill in the pit of your stomach that you were simultaneously disgusted by, but at the same time the disgust fed back into the thrill, and you knew that you couldn't help yourself, that you knew you would have to do this again eventually?
Once you pop, you can't stop. I keep eating spiders.
Honestly, I've been doing this for so long that I can't really say. I don't even remember it,
So, Courtney, getting back on track.
Yeah, so...
When did you become involved with the spider god?
I saw a fog come in over the ocean. Inside it, there were a lot of spiders. And
yeah, we met some.
What a coincidence. We also happened to come across a giant cloud of fog spiders.
You might have seen the same kind of stuff I had. Obviously.
I'm sure it's not related.
Obviously, that was likely due to a Lolth worshiper. And, I needed to fight fire with fire, so I kind of went and summoned Lolth's consort, Selvatarm, under my basement.
As you do.
As you do. Are you familiar with Selvatarm?
No, you could fill us in, that would be nice.
Sure.
Continue the exposition.
Way back, who knows when, Lolth, the goddess, the spider queen, whatever, had a consort by the name of Selvatarm, but he did not serve her willingly. He was both her champion and her enemy. So I figured...
Like a frenemy, really.
Really, yeah, he wanted to kill her, and so I summoned him so that he could kill her. But he didn't show up. He never showed up. I went down there, I cleaned it up, I did everything I had to, and I summoned him, and nothing.
Hang on. You're skipping over a little bit. Everything you had to. What exactly did that involve?
Oh, nothing,
probably a lot of spiders.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Okay.
I just went to down there, cleaned, lit up some candles, stood in the midst of the candles and prayed.
I was thinking maybe you were going to throw in human sacrifice or something.
No human sacrifice. No sacrifice of any kind. I did have to, cut my hand a little, but that's about it. I'm still alive, though.
Sure.
I'm not my hand's still
I
alive,
hope you put betadine on that after you...
I poured it under some hot water and put a little bit of my ale on there to clean it up. But anyway, he never showed up.
That'll do the trick. Courtney, I'm confused.
Well,
Why did you want to kill Lolth? I thought we were...
Okay, so Lolth is a problem. Lolth is a very bad goddess, and I figured it's summoning this guy to go after her would be a good thing.
All the Lolth worshippers I know are very nice people.
No, they're not. They're not even a little bit.
Well, they weren't. They were non-practicing.
That's really weird.
You know,
but
they did the big holidays and stuff, but you know, Spider Day.
Yeah, Murder Day.
Day of the Spider.
Murder Day's a big holiday for Lolth worshippers.
Oh yeah, Murder Day. All those. Well, it was fun to go over to their lair and
I'm just confused.
You know,
why would we want to start a war on a new front when we're already fighting the monarchy in this land? Why pick a fight with a god?
Well,
also we're fighting the patriarchy.
That's the question. All right, who would summon Lolth?
Well,
I think you did.
No, I wouldn't summon Lolth. I'd summon the guy who'd fight Lolth. All right.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I disappear behind some trees and come out with a corkboard and some yarn and start stringing together a bunch of pictures. Say, so Jody.
Coen.
So Coen. A mysterious third party summoned Spider Queen. Courtney then summoned the Spider Queen's consort to fight her.
Satanate or something?
Salvatarm.
To prevent third party from using Lolth to cause any more mayhem.
Yes,
but
gotcha.
Lolth didn't. But the Spider Queen's consort didn't show up, which is a problem. So now Lolth is just running.
Salvatore Dali didn't show up.
He did
exactly.
Eventually, you saw him.
Okay.
So
was that
Salvatore
Dali?
That was That was Salvatarm.
Oh, that spooky dude we met.
Yes.
He was nice.
I mean, he didn't kill you.
Yeah.
I pinned his photo on the corkboard.
Yeah, he resurrected some dead guards. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's a thing he does. You know, we were lucky that he didn't kill us. But I think more than he wanted to kill random people, he wanted to kill Lolth.
That was lucky.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he went off to kill Lolth. So I'm hoping that that'll take care of that, and we won't have to worry about that again.
Sure. I'm sure that will be fine.
Yeah.
So, the spider problem you have right now, is
that's probably from him
somehow?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
He just sent them over to say hi and provide snacks for Skumk.
Probably. I'm sure he was really looking forward to feeding a goblin.
It doesn't seem like a problem to me.
Skumk, I think this problem can be solved really quickly. Skumk, how many spiders can you eat in a row?
My record is I never counted, but it's high.
How many live spiders can you fit in your mouth?
At one time?
At one time.
Well, I transform into a giant toad.
There we go. Skumk eats all the spiders. Problem solved,
Yeah.
Courtney.
I go through. We're still on the outside, but there are plenty of spiders for me to grab with my giant tongue out here.
So we head back to the cabin, having done a good job.
Problem solved.
So let's go to plugs. Next time on.
I want you to do a investigation check, except for Coen, because he already rolled a 3.
Well, this place appears to be covered in spiders.
No, I think. Jesus, guys!
Can I get? I rolled a 4. Can I get advantage because part of the investigation involves putting the thing that I'm investigating in my mouth?
You're investigating with your tongue.
You're really investigating the area, not the spiders. So no, you don't get advantage. And holy shit, you rolled a 1.
But I have giant toad eyes.
You rolled a 1. Jelly.
2 ones in a row. Oh my
that's
god.
awesome.
Yeah, you guys don't notice anything. But for the sake of the narrative,
Does Courtney notice something?
Yeah, Courtney is like, well, hey, look over here.
I'll roll for Courtney.
And
she rolled a 4.
You somehow managed to lose Courtney, even though she was standing next to you, Jelly. And so where she calls you guys to go, you kind of walk in the opposite direction.
I'm just over here throwing rocks at bottles.
And
I'm just gorging myself.
And so Coen follows Courtney.
I found a random cat and I'm just stroking it.
You find Courtney, and Courtney is pointing at the ground, and she says,
"I'm looking up at the sky."
It's hard for me to see because I'm doing that thing that toads do, where they when they swallow, they bring their eyes down into their head.
She points to some footprints, and they are leading away from the tavern. The interesting thing about these footprints is, aside from being quite large, they're extremely shallow. As if whatever placed them was quite light, or at least quite light on his feet.
And how long are the strides? Are they very long strides?
They're surprisingly not long. The step seems to be quite small.
So
like
big
he
feet
wasn't
making little strides.
Yeah.
It's a
How large are the footprints?
I would say they would be a size 15 men's using American.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do they belong to
so
a
not that large?
Do they belong to a biped or a quadruped?
They would be a biped.
Okay.
So light on their feet, small strides, big feet. It's
they are human footprints.
A halfling with giant feet.
Yeah. No.
That's their thing.
Yeah, like a hobbit.
Oh, okay.
She says, maybe we should follow these.
I doubt this is connected to anything. Let's look for something else.
Okay.
For the sake of the narrative, I think we should follow these guys.
Why start now?
Skumk has no opinion on this. He's busy.
All right,
I'm
so
still chucking rocks at bottles.
I can give you guys a ride.
How do you mean?
I mean
blush.
that you get inside my carriage, and then I drive the carriage, and we follow the footprints.
Oh, I've never seen people track somebody from a carriage, but sure. Yes, we'll do it that way.
Well, I mean, the footprints are there.
It's horrible.
I will be sitting outside the carriage looking at the footprints.
Okay. I get up in the carriage.
I hop on over.
She opens the door. Are you changing back to Skumk form?
No, my mouth is full of 1,753 spiders.
Oh, wow. Your tongue is so dexterous that you can count each one.
Yeah, because I'm a toad. That's what we're known for.
Counting?
I then transform back into a goblin and then swallow them.
You see his throat expand cartoonishly as he slowly swallows that enormous number of spiders.
When I swallow, even when I'm in goblin form, my eyes go inside my head like a toad. Not all the time, just in this one case, because I'm, it's a lot of spiders.
And Jelly's feeling of disgust towards Skumk increases.
I give Jelly a hug.
I punch him.
You gonna make
Come on, children, jump in the carriage.
Unarmed attack with that?
All right, you hop in the carriage. She closes the door, and you see the Clockwork Gnome, and the Clockwork Gnome sees you and goes, "Welcome back, fellas."
Hey! Did we ever get that name?
It's Moomy.
Gosh, you want to know my name? Really?
Yes.
I do.
Oh, well, it's Jail.
Hey, JL.
Jail.
Hey, how are you doing? What? You know what? I never asked your names. I should return the favor.
Oh, I'm Jelly Butter.
I'm Coen Greyfield, Paladin of Vengeance, cat lover.
All right, you look like a Coen.
How are those mold samples treating you?
Oh gosh, you need to check this out. He turns around. He whips out a flask. It's bubbling, and he said, "This right here is the prototype for a whole new potion. I call it an antibiotic." You ever heard of it? Yeah. It kills biotics.
Is that like robots?
Like in Mass Effect?
They're like little tiny robots that are alive. So they're nothing like robots. And they live inside your body. No, not bionics, biotics.
Wait, so these things
It kills ticks?
these things are living inside of me?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of little things living inside you.
And this is the story for how Jelly became a hypochondriac.
There's lots of things living inside me. I already knew that.
Fiercely scrubbing my body with...
Most of those spiders are still alive, living inside you.
Yeah, I just swallowed them whole.
Oh, God.
They'll lay eggs inside you and one day pop out thousands of more little spiders.
One day, when I need them the most, I'll vomit up thousands of spiders.
Well,
just when I think you can't get any grosser, you do.
You guys have been such a help in me making this discovery. I wanted to give you a free bottle.
Hey.
So
Thanks.
he hands you a bottle, and inside are 3 gel caps. Each cap essentially works as a potion for disease. So if you ever get infected with a disease, which can happen in Dungeons & Dragons, you take one of these and it will cure you.
Cool.
I like to use this kind of thing sparingly. I want to respect my intestinal flora. Skunk eats a lot of yogurt.
You are a wise goblin.
You've got
want to watch
intestinal
out.
Fauna.
You certainly don't want superbugs like VRE and MRSA. I don't know if I can make a pill strong enough for those guys.
Wow, we're really taking on tough social issues.
During this time, you've been feeling the typical bumps and waggles that a carriage...
Bumps and lumps.
Bumps and lumps that a carriage experiences as it's traveling.
Real carriages have bumps and lumps.
This goes on. This goes on for a while, allowing you to have a short rest. I don't know if a short rest gives you back that wild shape. I think you said it did.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So you get that back because it takes over an hour, but not quite 8. Not that you need it. And eventually, you feel the carriage stop, and you hear Courtney outside going, "Holy shit!"
I look out the window.
I jump out of the carriage.
You jump out
I
the
climb
carriage.
very slowly out of the carriage.
You climb slowly out the carriage. So Jelly is the first.
Skumk is on Coen's back.
So Jelly is the first to see this. You are facing east, and you know this because the sun is beginning to set behind you. As a result, the red-yellow light of the sun is cast upon this city to the east of you. And it's actually a city that's in the midst of construction. And it's a city unlike any that you've seen before. All the buildings erected are made of marble, and each has a top window shaped like an octagon made of stained glass. Each window bears what appears to be a family crest. The surrounding land has not been landscaped around each of these places. And for the most part, most of these manses appear empty. And at the center of this city is an extremely large marble palace. It's ovular in shape with a curved roof. You're looking at it from the front, and on either side of the building you can see 2 massive flying buttresses. And at the front of the building there's a scaffolding surrounding the entrance that reaches all the way up to the roof of the building. You can make out some movement up there, and it appears that there is work being done on some kind of installation at the top of the face of the palace.
So, Courtney, I take it this wasn't here before.
This is so tacky.
It's really an incredible sight. It's gorgeous. Even though it's still in the midst of being built, it's an impressive sight
About
to see.
how
You've never
much
seen
built
anything
would you
like
say
it
it is?
Pardon me?
Sounds
Is it like
terrible.
Is it 3/4 built, or is it like half built, or a quarter?
I'd say it's
What
about
would you say?
3/4 built. Most of what's left is landscaping, as you can tell from what they're doing on the palace, like external work on the homes. You know, basically adding
facades and that kind of
exactly
thing.
the facades, aesthetic things.
You said that basically all of the palaces and jazz are carry the crests of noble houses and stuff. Do we know like what their deal is? Like if they're pretty cool people, or if there's some guys that we need to watch out for?
Do a history check.
All right.
I got a 20.
Here we go.
Not a natural 20.
A
Okay,
19
then,
plus
19.
1.
Okay, I didn't know you were rolling a history check as well.
I don't know why Skumk would know this, but
I know nothing.
he found one book soaked in a swamp.
A 20 for you is going to be very different from a 20 for everyone else.
Yeah.
Skumk, because you can't just know the history given what your
Maybe
background is.
Maybe I know if they're mean to goblins.
You do recognize that these are noble houses and that they are very mean to goblins.
I used to make swords for noble people, so I might roll and see what I know. Unfortunately, I'm incredibly dumb, so it could be a terrible roll. Here we go.
I grew up in a desert.
No.
So
All right,
Very
you recognize the symbols of the crests of two houses. And those houses are the largest houses here in this neighborhood. They're actually pretty well known around all of Faerun, and that is House Buckhunt and House Timurin.
There's a lot of dangers in that word
Yeah.
if you say it wrong.
House butt hunt. In fact, I
Just be
even
very,
say-
very careful how we say the word buck hunt.
Yes,
I know-
do, because I wasn't
I
even
nudge-
thinking about that when I created the name, so...
Yeah, unlike you, Jody,
I-
disgusting monster.
I'm a
I
disgusting...
elbow Coen in the ribs and say like, more like House Butt Hunt, or am I right?
Yeah, and Coen doesn't get it, but he wants to pretend like he looks cool, so he's just like, yeah, butt hunt.
Skumk, I want you to roll let's say an investigation check, or perception rather, whichever is better for you. 9. Wow, okay.
So none of these houses are particularly, notorious among goblins?
They're all pretty terrible for goblins. There is no noble house that is friendly to goblins. They all hate goblins.
But none is outstanding, among goblins as being...
No, the only one that would be outstanding at this point would be the royal house. The royal family, obviously, because they ordered the genocide of all goblins in both the East and the Sword Mountains. Did I ever tell you guys the royal house name?
It was like Moosefoot or something, right?
Moosefoot was the lord.
That was a
He
lord.
lives out on an island somewhere.
If you have, I forget it.
All right, the royal house is House Baladan.
Baladan?
Baladan.
Yeah.
The Ballad of Dan.
Oh, the many exploits. So whimsical.
You do, of course, recognize the flag that bears the crest of House Baladan, Skumk, and that is what you fear.
Man, I hate paladins.
I say we... Hey. Was that necessary?
I thought
Okay,
you were
so-
just, a really shiny fighter.
Yes. It's known as a paladin. Otherwise
With a
known as a
furry
shiny fighter.
Okay, so Courtney, I take it this wasn't here before. Very surprising. Probably connected to a bunch of other stuff that was happening. So basically, we need to sneak in there and find out what's happening.
She says, I guess we could sneak in, but I don't know that we really need to, aside from the goblin boy.
Aside from the fact
We still have the
That
disguises,
they
right?
want to kill goblins.
No, your disguises are done.
I took. Also, Skumk, you have your white privilege card.
Skunk.
Yeah, you have that.
is
You have the
green.
VIP card.
That's true.
Fuck this. I start walking into town.
Let's do it.
I don't know.
Make
Let's
things
go.
happen.
What's the worst that
already
could
walking
happen?
Courtney hops into the driver's seat and says, I'm ready to go!
No.
I love it when you do your catchphrase, Courtney. It's my favorite.
Classic.
Thank you.
I hate it.
All right, so we'll travel in the wagon. That way, Skump won't be seen.
All right.
Yeah, I just put a blanket over my head.
Do you think they're gonna let ghosts into town?
Sure, why not?
Don't think they have anything against ghosts.
Yeah.
It's mainly goblins they don't like.
I could, turn into a bear or something.
Yep, problem solved. We'll just stroll into town with a bear.
You hear her voice coming from outside. So where should we go first?
How about that big building? The big
Palace? Okay. All right. So she drives you down into the town. You're looking out the window, and you can see that she begins to slow down. And through the window, you can actually, those of you who are sitting in the seats facing forward, do see the palace, and it's incredibly large and incredibly tall. You've never seen anything quite like this. It's larger even than the castle over in Waterdeep. And of course, there's that large scaffolding being built over the facade. At this point, she is stopped, and you hear or see, depending on where you're sitting, a person walking up to Courtney saying, "Excuse me, ma'am, what's your business here?" And she says, "Oh, just visiting, seeing if we can find some work." And he says, "Well, there's always need for work here, so, you want to talk to the foreman. His name's Miguel. You can find him over there at that house. He's taking up a temporary residence there." And he points behind you guys, and you'll see a house, another one of these houses. And all these houses look exactly the same, with the exception of the house crest on the facade, the stained glass window.
Sounds like McMansion hell to me.
So she says, "Well, thank you," and she guides your carriage over towards that house, and eventually stops, exits, and then opens your door and says, "Let's say we get some work and do a little bit of investigation."
Sure. That sounds like a plan.
All right.
Okay, I want to be a milkman.
I'm good at banging stuff.
I don't think there's any work as a milkman here.
I just do whatever.
Yeah, I know. You're great that way.
Thanks.
How about as a mailman?
I could be like a janitor or a octopus.
They probably need a hammerman.
An janitor.
I could turn into a giant seahorse if you want.
Whatever, swinging a hammer would be great. Cutting wood, things that build whatever the fuck it is they're building here. Let's go talk to the guy.
Okay, I stroll up to the foreman's desk and say, "I'm looking for employment, preferably a job where I can sit alone and don't have to talk to anyone."
All right, there is no desk. There is a door to the house that he is inside.
I'm cutting to that scene. It's called editing.
Okay, no, because that's how it works.
I don't want to have to see. Okay, I walk out of the carriage. I take some steps. Now I am at the door. Now I open the door. Now
door
I walk
is locked,
into the door.
Dumbass.
Well, I knock on the door.
Hang on. Are we playing Radio Zork?
All right. So you knock on the door. The door opens, and you see a guy in a white shirt and blue jeans. And he says, "Yeah, how can I help you?"
I'm looking for employment, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people have been coming here lately looking for some jobs. This is a good place to get one. Let me get you over to Miguel.
He guides you to a room outside. He guides you into the foyer and then through a hallway to another room. That room has an open door, and you see a young man sitting behind a desk wearing a jean jacket and jeans and a dark blue T-shirt.
There's a lot of jeans in this place.
Lots of jeans. These guys are big into it. It's great work clothes. And he looks
They're
up.
just all wearing Canadian tuxedos.
He looks up and says,
We got new workers. This is good.
"I am looking forward to working with new people. Come in. Oh, hey, look.
What is this accent?
There's a little one."
Shush, leave it. It's
Is he
perfect.
is he like a Skyrim character?
"There's a little one."
Shut up. It's perfect.
Shut up, Ivan. I love it.
What is your name, little green guy?
I'm Skumk.
Interesting.
Nice to meet you.
Where did you come from?
A swamp.
Could you be so kind as to tell me where this swamp was located?
The swamp.
Oh, the one swamp, I see. Oh,
Not to say, like, there's only one swamp that's worthwhile, but, I mean, come on. We all know the swamp, come on.
Look,
Yes, the
I have to.
It's a very nice
There
place.
is a reason I bring this up, and I have to tell you because I don't want you to get. I don't want this to be upsetting. Well, it's going to be upsetting to you. I can't help this. This place was a swamp. It had a lot of goblins here, and let's just say those goblins are now gone.
I think I heard about that somewhere. I might have read about it in a magazine or...
Well, do you think that would inhibit your work? I mean, you are working for the people who are responsible for...
I mean, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
I am perfectly fine with anyone who can swing a hammer. I am not picky or choosy like these assholes in this village. I appreciate anyone who's willing to do some help for me. So, what do you say? I give you guys 5 gold pieces each every day.
Sure.
Oh, wow. That sounds fantastic.
To do what?
Well,
Swing hammers?
You see the scaffolding, right? Okay, at the top of the scaffolding, we are putting in these 8 windows. And we need your assistance in the installation process. These glasses, they're quite heavy, and they come in different little pieces. And honestly, the biggest problems also that we have to deal with are these people who live here. Are you familiar with the buck hunts and the Timorans?
Yeah, the Timurids
Yes, they're
who invaded Persia.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I will say this. They don't like each other, and it seems that both of them were promised the Great Palace. Now, there's more room in that palace for any family. It's so fucking big. But they have problems with this.
It's a big palace.
So I need you to be careful what you do and what you say with these people. I don't want you to take sides. I just want you to do your work. However, if you see some shit being stirred by any one of these fucking people, I want you to stop them, okay? Just cool it down.
Well, it's nice to know that we have something in common with both sides.
Like what?
We hate them.
I'm pretty good at murder. You got a deal, Vladimir.
What?
Did he say anything about murder? Did I miss the subtext there?
I said nothing about murder or the fact or my name being Vladimir. My name is Miguel.
That's pretty offensive, dude.
What? Yeah, you don't call a guy named Miguel Vladimir. I'm not calling you by what's your name? Like I imagine it's not something stupid like Jelly.
My name is Alyssa.
Alyssa. See, that's a beautiful name for a beautiful lady.
Unlike something stupid like jelly butter.
Oh my
for
God!
example.
Can you even imagine being named Jelly Butter? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and
I'm
what a
clen-
stereotypical name for a
For the tieflings.
tiefling. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm clenching my fist right now.
Anyway, I'm going to give you a temporary house where all 3 of you can board. There's going to be 3 bedrooms each. You'll find it on the southeast side of town near the edge. We're running out of houses, but you should be comfortable there. Just don't destroy anything in it, okay? Here's the keys, and he reaches inside of his desk and hands you each a key to your temporary
Thank you for
home.
setting me at ease, Miguel.
Hey, it's my pleasure, my friend. By the way, I did not get your names, except for Elisa. What is your name, my friend?
Oh, my name is Skumk. I said that already.
Oh, did you? I am so sorry, Skumk. It is my pleasure to meet you. And you, sir, what is your name?
I'm Coen Greyfield. I'm a blacksmith,
Oh,
so if you
my
need any metal bent...
God, we will need your assistance so much. Fantastic. You, my friend,
I can
your
turn
specialty,
into animals. Does that help?
You get 10 gold a day. You turn into animals. That's impressive. If we really need some intimidation. I'll let you know. But right now,
I
kinda
could like
try-
turn into a baboon or something and climb
Well,
up
that
to
you know
something.
that could be funny. We do like silly animals. If you wanted to do like a little performance,
Yeah, me too.
You know,
I like silly animals.
that's good.
I'm very good at making condiments, and fruit preserves.
Are you a cook,
My
Alisa? Alisa, are you a cook?
I am a cook.
Oh my goodness!
I'm also good at making holographic trading cards.
I can't imagine why we would need those, but we are in need of a good cook. If you can make some good food, you get 10 gold a day too. You get 10 gold a day, Mr. Coen. Skumk, unfortunately for you, you get 5 gold. But if you do some performances at night for my workers, keeps them happy, I'll give you another 5 gold, so you get you get 10 gold a day. And appreciate your help. Do you have any more questions? Anything that I can assist you with?
Yeah, just take the keys and head to wherever he told us to go.
And Courtney grabs a key herself. She says, "By the way, my name's Courtney. I'm a cleric. I'm here with these guys. If you need any help, just let me know. I'll just do the 5 gold a day. Thanks." She shuffles off with you guys back into her carriage, and she drives you guys over to your new temporary home. When he says it's luxurious, it is most definitely luxurious. It's quite a large space. There are aspects of it that are being built, but as he says, there are 3 open rooms. In the back on the first floor is a very large master bedroom. And upstairs there are 2 smaller rooms, still quite large. Courtney awkwardly looks at you guys and says, "So, who's getting what?"
Oh, you can have a room. I'll sleep on the couch. I don't mind.
I'll sleep on the floor or the basement.
Okay, and she just says, "I don't think there is a basement here, but there's plenty of floors. But you don't have to.
I
if you
guess
wanna
it is
sleep
a
on
swamp.
bed."
People don't usually have basements in that kind of...
So you said there were 2 rooms?
2 rooms upstairs. There's
Well, Courtney and Jelly can share one room, and we'll share and me and Scump will share the other room.
well, there's 3
and
rooms
we'll be
total.
like-
1 large master bedroom on the first floor, 2 rooms upstairs.
I'll take the big room all by myself.
Thanks for making that sacrifice for us. Really.
All right, I just walk out the front door.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
You just walk out in the middle of the street and just say hello?
Yeah, to whoever's there. Is there, like, construction workers around, or...
Oh, no, there's no one around the house.
Oh, okay.
So you are greeted with
Well,
with wind.
I start jauntily walking up the street towards the castle.
Skumk, you notice a rather opulent carriage approaching.
Hey, that's cool.
This carriage has has 2 flags on either side. One flag is the royal flag, and the other flag is the flag of House Buckhunt.
Bug hut.
Buckhunt. The flag is a buck with 2 arrows crossing just below its head.
When Skump starts his own great house, it's going to be called House Bug Hut.
The flag's background is red. The buck and the arrows are yellow, but it's like a mustard yellow.
Delicious.
The carriage stops when it sees you just walking along, and the driver of the carriage looks at you oddly,
Hey, dude, what's up? I do a peace sign.
and his eyes just kind of get wide, and he scoots back, kind of like terrified. The door to this carriage opens, and you see a very dandy man wearing a white wig and a lavender suit exit, and then hold the door open for another man who exits. He's wearing a red outfit with that mustard trim. He has this large chapeau that's also red with a mustard dyed feather just sticking out. And he says, "Oh my.
I like your one big feather.
Thank you. What is your name, my little friend?"
My name's Skunk. It's nice to meet you. I don't think we're friends yet because we haven't met before.
"Well, the pleasure is all mine. My name is Patrick of House Buckhunt. Perhaps you've heard of us."
I don't think so.
"You look like a scrappy fellow. Are you here to work?"
I consider myself fairly scrappy.
Yes.
I've never described myself as that, but now that you say that, I think it's a good descriptor.
He looks you over very closely. He says, "You have the air of a druid. Am I correct?"
Yeah, I like to, run around in the woods and eat bugs, make clothes out of bark.
Are you here alone? I would imagine that would be particularly odd if you were. Do you have friends here?
I'm never alone when I'm with you. I
really
actually
takes
am
good choice.
addressing that to a horse that is pulling the carriage.
He looks at the house with the open door and he says, "Is that where you're staying, my friend?"
I guess so.
Okay. Would you mind showing me in? I would love to see your home.
Sure. Yeah, it's okay. I asked his attendant what his name is.
He looks at you and he says, Bobby.
And when these guys walk
Hi.
in, I stand up
Hey.
off the couch and bow and say,
Bobby doesn't
"Why,
walk
hello.
in. Only the
Visit.
only Patrick walks
Yeah,
in.
that's what I meant.
Okay.
Well, when Patrick walks in, I stand up and say and bow and say, "My lord,
Oh,
we weren't expecting visitors. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
oh,
The
please,
place is a mess."
please. The honor is all mine. Thank you. And he makes a deep bow to you and he says, You're a paladin, are you not?
I'm Coen Greyfield, Paladin of Bast.
Of Bast?
Nice to make your acquaintance.
He holds his hand out to you to shake, and he looks you straight in the eye, and he has an extremely pleasant demeanor. He looks at you and says, "Of Bast, you're a vengeance paladin, is that correct?"
That would be correct. Yes, sir. Do you have anybody who you need vengeance?
I may actually be in need of your service, my friend.
Well, there's nothing I like more than vengeancing people.
Absolutely. I appreciate your enthusiasm. However, I do ask anyone who comes under my employ to be subtle.
Certainly. Subtlety is, well, I mean, it's not my middle name, but, it's one of my many names. Subtlety.
Well, I'm quite powerful. If you want it to be your middle name, I can make it so.
Somebody's got it, big ears. No.
And who is this lovely creature? And he walks over to Jelly.
I blush and say, "My name is Alyssa."
A pleasure to meet you, Alyssa. And then he sees Courtney and he says, "Ah, a cleric. We certainly may be in need of your holy services, madam." She looks at him in with a sense of revulsion that's not hidden on her face, and she says, "I have to go upstairs. I'm sorry." And she just runs up and heads into one of the rooms.
To what do we owe this visit, Sir Patrick, Lord Patrick, whatever your name is, sir?
Well, I saw you ride in, and I'll be perfectly frank.
I thought your name
Very
was
few
Patrick.
You jest. I love it. No,
I'm not jesting.
he just continues anyway. He says, typically, our workers don't come here in their own, what appears to be a private carriage. I must say this piqued my curiosity, and I decided to meet you.
Well,
And I look at you, and I see a paladin, a druid, and you're a sorcerer, aren't you, madam?
among other things, yes.
And not only that, but you are a vengeance paladin. And I must say, I am absolutely delighted that one of you is a goblin, particularly in light of what happened here. This is a dark place for anyone who's a goblin, and I can imagine vengeance would potentially be the first thing on his mind. Am I correct? Yes, I would like to perhaps take leave of your services, if you'd be willing to provide them.
We're
Tell
always-
us what you'd like to do first, and we'll decide.
It's very simple, really. You are familiar with House Timurin?
Now we've seen their flag.
The Timurins are the family that we have been promised to share the palace with. Now, I am a progressive fellow, I'd like to think, and the Timurins not so much. They are quite responsible for the atrocities that occurred here. I'd say that this is where your needs or your desires and mine perhaps intersect. You could have your vengeance against House Timorin, and I could have House Timorin gone, and the palace would belong to House Buckhunt, as it should. You, of course, would be rewarded greatly. What do you say?
I'd be willing to dispose of this house.
Excellent. What I need you to do, everything that I ask must look like an accident. I don't want to create open hostility between the two houses. At this point, we are already at each other's throats. Honestly, we just need it to end. The Timorins are the absolute worst. We can discuss this a bit more, I'd say, tomorrow. What's your schedule like at, let's say, 10 a.m.?
Well,
Carry what?
we were supposed to be installing those windows. We could take a break from window installing to come and chat with you.
Oh, one word with Miguel, and I could absolutely pull you from the line. So,
that'd be great.
certainly.
I wasn't
10 a.m.
looking forward to installing those windows. I didn't think it would make very good podcasting.
Welcome to the
This is-
construction RPG.
All right, then. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, I'll meet with you. I will bring my wife, Carrie, and we'll discuss this. Oh, and while you're here, please come to any of our homes. My children, Bucky, Henrietta, and Luke, would absolutely love to meet you. And
So, some beautiful
Otherwise-
names you've given your children. I really like them.
why, thank you. And he bows again. He says, "I should take my leave now.
Yes, don't leave it here.
Do have a pleasant evening. And if you
Okay.
have any questions, please do not hesitate to come by." And he bows one last time and walks away back to his carriage, which has been driven back in front of your home. You see the Dandyman pop out with the wig, Bobby.
The
And
Dandyman
Bobby
can.
opens the door. Dandyman opens up the door for Patrick. Patrick enters, and Dandyman follows in the very opulent.
Do you have to say
gold-trimmed
Dandyman in front of a
carriage.
mirror 3 times for him to appear?
Drives away.
Dandyman.
Oh no, he's come!
Oh my.
Dandyman's here.
Hello, boys. You summoned me.
Go away, Dandyman. We don't need you right now.
You hear from the upstairs balcony, "Is that asshole gone yet?"
Yes, the asshole is gone.
All right, Courtney comes down and says,
We're totally fucking this guy over, right?
Absolutely. I want to
I
kill
feel
them. I want to kill both of these families.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Courtney. You were speaking?
"I am super glad to hear that. I would be totally cool with all of them dead too. Horribly, painfully. I hate these motherfuckers. But that said, these rooms are awesome, and I am tired. Let's figure out the room situation and go to sleep."
Skump's already bags the big room, so I'm going to take the couch. Sorted.
I love that the big room goes to the littlest person. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you guys each go into your rooms. Courtney and Jelly are upstairs in the 2 rooms, and Skumk is in the big room by himself. Coen takes the couch. I need Ivan and Jelly to roll perception. All right, Skumk, you rolled a 12. You sleep soundly throughout the entire night. Jelly, you sleep kind of fitfully. It's odd for you sleeping in a strange bed, especially one is so different from the ones you've slept in the past. You get up and you just kind of sit in bed looking around. Outside, you see a figure kind of moving in the darkness. As soon as you see it, it is gone.
I walk over the window and look around.
At this point, you don't see anything else, and you go back to sleep.
It's probably just the Dandyman comeback.
I have a powdered wig that's just your size, darling.
The next morning, Courtney was kind enough to fix you all a little bit of breakfast. Some sausage, eggs, and bowl of porridge.
I say,
Each of
Courtney,
you?
you are a much better host than Sarah. All she gave us was a bag of chips and a bottle of water. And this is awesome.
Well, Sarah didn't have all this. And she points to she waves her hand around the kitchen. And it's a large kitchen with an island, and it's fully stocked with all kinds of shit. A fancy magic ice box that keeps everything cool all the time.
Now we really know
Yes.
that this is a fantasy world because we are laborers and they are giving us this. amount of treatment. This is definitely a fantasy place.
We're living in a socialist paradise.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
you
living
are
in
living
the-
in a
we're
model
living-
home. You're not going to
We're living in the Arrested Development house.
It's all foam.
Yeah. This is just a house in a field waiting for all the other houses to grow up around it.
There are other houses around it. I mean, you got like maybe 2 acres of land around the entire thing. It's not a whole lot.
Sure. We're still in the model home. That's canon now.
Right. Yeah, they're all, well, they're not model homes, but yeah, essentially think of them as a model home. But they are pre-built.
Prefab.
Yeah, she feeds you guys. You have a lovely breakfast, and you guys all head back towards the palace to do your work. What you see is at one of the homes, there's a huge crowd kind of gathered there of workers and people from both houses. And Miguel is there shouting, trying to keep the peace. And 2 men seem to be at each other's throats. And Miguel is doing his best to keep them away from each other.
I run in and break them up.
You go in, you break them up. Miguel says, "Thank you, my friend. This is a crazy day. Look at this crap."
Is he Italian now?
No, he's talking like this because that is the way he talks. Anyway, he points over into the crowd, and the people kind of split up in the crowd to let you see. They're lying on the ground with the flag of House Timmerman, which, by the way, is a blacksmith hammer, and it is a black hammer on a silver background. There's a body impaled with that flag. Hey, this is Stan Ferguson.
This is Jody Doyle.
Hi, this is Ivan.
This is Trevor Gibson or whatever.
Hello, Trevor Gibson
What's
or
up?
whatever.
That was really enthusiastic, Trevor.
I've been sick for a week. Fuck off.
We love you, Trevor.
This is the bit where we come and ask you for something. We need your help to promote us within the iTunes store. We'd love you to come and give us a review in iTunes. Please, 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 please. So that we can get the word of the podcast out to more listeners and more people can start listening.
Yeah, we can't say enough of how much iTunes reviews really help any new podcast. So that and word of mouth. So, of course, we highly recommend, we ask you please to make sure that if you like our show to share it with all your friends that you think would be interested.
We beg you.
More than anything else, yeah, I'd say just telling other people you know about the podcast is the biggest thing.
Stanley, we had somebody review the podcast recently on iTunes. Who was that?
Yes, we did. It is a Robot Pine Tree. Also
Thank you,
known to me
Robot.
as Owapo. Yes, thank you, Owapo Robot Pine Tree, for the excellent 5-star review he provided us on iTunes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you give us a review, we'll
And,
definitely thank you at the end of the podcast.
Absolutely, especially when you call our guys jalopy adventurers. That's pretty awesome.
But if it's not in the American or Australian iTunes store, make sure you come on to like the Facebook page and let us know that you reviewed us in one of the other countries of the world stores. And that way we'll know that you reviewed us and we'll be able to thank you at the end of the podcast.
And just like our enemy podcast, Square Roots, which, by the way, I was on recently, so make sure you listen to that. That's the Kodor recap.
Especially that Vanessa.
bastards.
Except for Vanessa.
Vanessa is great.
You only don't like her because she called you Jody Kangaroo.
She did. It was very rude.
My best friend Vanessa. Yeah. Good on ya.
As they do, if you give us a review and you screenshot it and put it on our group, we'll make sure to give you a shout out and read it out to the on the podcast. Just let us know what you want us to call you on the podcast. If you want us to use your first name or a name like Robot Pine Tree.
And make sure you subscribe and listen to Square Roots podcast. It's a good podcast to hate.
And they're on Super Mario RPG right now, which should make for a lot of good fun. I know that first episode was cracking me up as much as I hate them.
Brr.
Also, you can follow our Tumblr at TSMRcast.
They See Me Rollin' on Facebook.
Right. And make sure it's rollin', not rolling. There's no G at the end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a much larger Facebook group just called They See Me Rolling, and I'm not sure what that's all about.
Hopefully some of them accidentally join our group instead.
Yeah, that's the main way we should.
That's the main reason we named it this.
Because people don't actually know the name of the song Right and Dirty.
Yeah, I didn't know it for a long time, actually. I thought it was called They See Me Rolling. What were you going to say, Trevor?
Gee, well, if anyone would let me fucking finish. Half this fucking show is people interrupting me. I'm so tired of it. You can also follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, that's right. Follow us on Twitter. Whatever he said. No,
Big.
I'm gonna come. I swear to God, I will fly to Australia and I will strangle you.
Big shout out to @BarebuttBoogie for being the first and to this day only person to ever message me on Twitter.
I love that Bare Butt Boogie.
In the entire history of this show, you are the only person. So thank you.
Yes, give Trevor some love on at TSMRcast. We all pay attention to that. I know I do.
It's his only source of human contact.
Yeah,
please.
He's kept inside of a dank concrete basement. He's not even allowed to see people. We don't even know what Trevor looks like.
You know the gimp in the basement from Pulp Fiction? That's basically me.
And it's my basement, so...
That's why he talks like he's got balls in his mouth.
I usually do. Don't yuck my yums,
I'm
Jody.
not yucking nothing.
Right. And because this couldn't possibly go on any longer, we want to thank Jordan Sam
Thanks,
for
Jordan.
being super awesome and sharing us on Facebook a whole lot. So thanks, Jordan. You are the best. Please, again, another as far as word of mouth is concerned, even if you don't know specifically anyone who would be willing to listen to our show, just if you could share it on your timeline, maybe someone you would be surprised will discover us and we'll get some more listeners.
We really appreciate it.
The bigger this show gets and the more people listen to it, the more effort we'll put into it because we do it for the fans.
We're on about 12% effort at the moment. We want to at least get it up to 20%.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we want to be able to say we're not just doing it for the fans, we're also doing it for the money. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Help us
and
reach
currently
that
we're
goal.
getting negative money.
Help us sell out is what we're asking.
Help us help you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. You have a great night, day, whatever time you're listening to this. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Is there a porn store?
What? No.
Well,
why would there be
I'm
a
just
porn
asking
store?
so that we can give it a wide berth.
Okay, no.
We've had bad experiences.
This is not the kind of place with a porn store. This is a city only for the wealthiest of people.
So I guess it's more like a theater.
Wait a minute. Wealthy people masturbate too, okay? You cannot tell me there's not porn somewhere in this town.
It must be more like an underground arena or something.
Look, as it stands, there is no porn store, but I don't know who's going to want to run the porn store. They'll probably have something like a high-class brothel or escort service,
run by a weird old man.
Yes, these people are
a porn gladiator pit.
These people are wealthy enough to get their porn as real people and not, books. Okay? So don't worry about them. I don't worry about rich people. You shouldn't worry about rich people, okay?